New England, obviously, and a lot to digest here. It's a team that, they do a lot of different things. Got a lot of good football players in every phase, and they there's like all of us, there's things that they're doing better than others at this point in time, but they've got a lot of disruptive people defensively. Certainly one of the better defensive teams in the league. Every level. The front is physical, big, tough. The linebacking core is really good, athletic, versatile, play a lot of different spots. Bentley's, one of the best inside linebackers that we'll see for sure. And the secondary is very multiple. A lot of guys play a lot of different safeties. They line up in a lot of different locations. Very difficult to identify. Challenge your pre-snap communication. Try to make sure you get a body on a body. Create a lot of negative situations with that. Offensively, got a lot of skill players that do a lot of different things. Diverse skill sets. Two backs are really good. They're starting to, they play both of them. Obviously, Stevenson was one of the league leaders in pass receptions last year. Makes a lot of yards after contact. Zeke, same thing. Good out of the backfield in the passing game. Make yards after contact. So those two guys are obviously going to be a focal point for us. The tight end position, Hunter Henry, go-to guy. A lot of situational plays. Gesicki, length, speed, catch radius is huge at tight end. And the receivers, they've played a lot of different guys. They got some young guys, obviously, that are playing. I know Douglas is in the protocol, but, quick, fast, does a lot of things with the ball in his hands. Parker, big, contested catch guy into the boundary. Bourne, really good run after catch. I know Juju's in the protocol as well. But, again, situational plays, a lot of important plays for them. And the quarterback, touch, accuracy, feel, and when they get it rolling, this is a very, I'd say, diverse group of skill guys. Their line really has only played the one game together against the Jets, battled injuries a lot, but they're physical, big. Brown, Onwenu, big guys inside, hard to, they pry it open in the running game, and we're going to expect that group to play this week as well, and really good in the kicking game in terms of their core teams players. We know about Slater, who's as good as there is in the league at his position. 10 straight Pro Bowls. Schooler, he's one of the best. This is an elite cover player for sure. Blocked a kick against Miami. Does a lot of different things for him. Board. They got a lot of guys in the kicking game that make a lot of big plays for him. And then the two young kickers, that are that they're breaking in right now too. So a lot of different things, a lot of different challenges. Different team than what we played last December by far. Our team's different. Our strategy's different. Theirs is too. They got different coaches. So this will be a big week of preparation for us.
Josh, you guys have 9 guys touch the ball on Sunday offensively. Every game's kind of unto itself, but ideally, is that sort of the direction that you want to go to, and how did that kind of come about?
Yeah, I think more than not, you'd like that. They all, we have confidence in all of them. They all can do things when they touch the field and touch the ball. So the more guys that you get involved, the more they have to defend. And certainly with us, we've learned over the last year and a half that sometimes the ball gets forced to go to other places too. So quarterbacks, if they make the right decision and see the coverage out the right way, you got to take the profit. And sometimes that might not necessarily be your first or second read on the play, but just try to do the right thing and get the ball to the right person. And JJ's got a lot of catches out of the backfield, and some of that is because of the coverages that we're seeing. So, but no, I'd love to get all those guys involved if we can.
Of course, the Chargers traded J.C. Jackson to the Patriots a couple of weeks ago, a guy that you spent a little bit of time with. What were some traits in New England that you saw from him that started to make him develop into a great corner?
Yeah, competitive. Was very durable. He's got good size, good speed, good length. Can disrupt you at the line of scrimmage. Excellent ball skills. I think he's more interceptions than anybody since 18. I think is the number. But just a complete player. That played a lot of man coverage in New England. very sticky in coverage, has a knack for finding the ball when it's in the air. They did a good job of reacquiring him, and we'll expect to see him on Sunday.
Jakobi Meyers is playing the best ball of his career so far this season. How would you describe the impact he's been able to have in the games that he's been out there?
Yeah, just consistent, and dependable. A lot of confidence in him. A lot of confidence in, whatever the situation is. Third down, early downs, red zone. He's a very dependable catcher of the ball. He's got great hands. He's really learned and how to become a complete player at that position. Earlier in his career, a little bit more of an inside player, and now I think he understands like who he is and what he has to do when he's outside versus when he's inside, and he thinks all the way through the game. If somebody's seen a route one time, maybe he'll change it up and do something a little different, but just a productive player in every role. Does a lot of tough physical things in a running game, like goes in there and blocks the force and the down safety. So he's involved in that aspect also. Very unselfish guy, great teammate, ready to go, knows every position on the field, plays a lot of roles for us. Really a valuable guy.
He's reaching some pretty elite company in terms of undrafted players. I guess what did teams miss, and I guess what did you guys see in him to bring aboard after the draft?
He was a productive guy in college at NC State, and he's a guy who was a former quarterback, so he had a kind of a cerebral understanding of the passing game from a different perspective, which I think helps, receivers when they do that. He had great hands, in college. That was not something that we taught him how to do. I think, his work ethic, has great character, very intelligent kid. You have a lot of traits there that, you'd love to work with, and didn't necessarily test, crazy, in terms of overall numbers and those kind of things, which sometimes, those things hurt guys, but they shouldn't, and in Jakobi's case, obviously he fell, and we were fortunate to have an opportunity to get him.
You gave the ball to Michael Mayer early on Sunday, and he's kind of a battering ram when he gets the ball in his hands. What that physicality that he brings to that position when the ball is in his hands, how can that kind of help him out? Yeah, run after catch, yards after contact. All that stuff. When you have a tight end or a big receiver, a big back that gets the ball in space, and you make smaller men try to tackle you. It's sometimes you can create even bigger plays. And he ended up with a handful of yards after they touched him the other night too. So, that's always been a position that we've gotten the ball to quite a bit inside the middle of the field. And I think that as the season goes on, we need to continue to try to do that. We've got good players at that position. Obviously invested a significant draft pick in Michael, and that position group is coming on, improving, working hard in practice, which is important. I think developing some chemistry with our quarterbacks too. It felt like he understood that there was a little bit of a process to get there. I know he probably wanted to touch the ball as many times as possible, but he also had an understanding that there was work that was involved to get to that point.
No question. It's not just I'm not saying that that's what college football is, but it's not just, run the line on the paper and you're automatically wide open in the NFL, So there's an element of understanding what you need to do to get yourself opportunities. And there's a lot of other things that go along with that, but if you have good pass protection, the quarterback's reading the plays properly, and they're attacking the middle of the field the right way, you have opportunities. So, he made a handful of good plays the other day. Austin had a couple touches too. So, just going to keep trying to incorporate those guys as much as we can.
You were with Mac Jones his rookie year, and he's had some struggles this season. What have you seen when you look at the tape of what he's done so far this year?
Yeah. He's a very talented player. Accuracy has always been a huge part of his game. Touch, anticipation. He has all those things at a very high level. They've battled the same bug we've battled, honestly. With the turnovers and losing opportunities through change of possession. So I'm sure that's something that they're going to work hard at limiting and getting rid of. And It's the same thing we're talking about. So, but this is a guy who's a very capable passer in every situation. He's played big in big games. He's battled, against really good teams, made some high-level throws and hung in there, very tough in the pocket, gets hit and gets right up and, goes to the next play. So a lot of respect for him, a lot of admiration for what he did when I was there, and, it would be a big challenge for us this week.
What are some of the things that DeAndre Carter's brought to the mix?
Yeah, DeAndre, obviously we're all aware of his impact in the kicking game, and when DC gets the ball, he has a chance to, change field position. He's done that a few times this year for us when we've had our opportunities, and just trying to get him to touch the football a little bit more, as we go. He's earned that. He does a good job when he has it. He's a good space player. He's tough runner, hard to tackle. Knows every position. He played multiple positions the other day he played every position in the same game. So he works really hard. He's very diligent in his preparation. Knows every role on the field, which, when we get into a pinch, somebody's got to go in there, and DC's done a really good job of being available for that too. So made a big play on the 4th and 1 the other night too. So a lot of trust and faith in him, a lot of confidence. True pro, does a great job of preparing every week, works hard, takes care of his body. Really glad we have him.
Maxx Crosby had a handful of tackles for loss in the last game. How rare is it to have an edge rusher that's, not just a premier pass rusher, but also, one of the best run defenders in the league?
Yeah, he's, and we've tried to block him in practice too, and it's not necessarily an easy chore. Max has, made himself into a defender that is, good in each area. The only thing we don't do is drop him into coverage, and so, but if we did, he'd probably be good at that too. But his effort and his toughness, and then you combine that with just, he's got kind of an uncanny knack for how he can bend and, change the angle of his body to try to avoid, certain things and get disruptive plays in the backfield. And, that's what you're seeing, and they try to block him with sometimes multiple people. And he's just got enough of that feel and understanding and talent, and then you put the effort on top of that with his toughness, and it's just, he's bound to make some plays like that, so, nobody works harder than he does, and it's in every area: run game, pass rush, contain, et cetera. Does a really good job of working at the things we ask him to do. He's an elite leader and he's an elite player.
Has he gotten even better? Is it crazy to say he's actually gotten better this year?
Yeah, but he deserves the credit for that. Our coaching staff, I think Robbie and Matt do a great job with those guys, Pat, of working with those guys, obviously, and doing some things from a technical standpoint, fundamentals. But nobody puts more time in than him, whether he's in here boxing at 5:30 in the morning or, it's never ending, and so when you have that kind of an obsession to improve and be the best player you can be, and you combine that with his God-given ability and some of the things that he can do that other people can't, you got a recipe for a great player.
All set. All right.
Good to go. Okay, thank you.